Nobody's telling you this, so I will. And that's that you don't need a website in order to start your business. Well, let me rephrase that. You don't need a website first. And this is something that I see a lot of people do. It's a mistake that I see a lot of people focus on. And this isn't theory. This isn't just an idea or a concept. This is actually strategies that I use to build a 6-figure business. I should almost say 7, but let's not go there. So using strategies like this, when I started, and for those who don't know, I started my own cosmetic company while working a full-time job. Within the first 6 months, we crossed $100,000 in sales, and we finished up the year with over 370 something thousand in sales. Now, growing from there, every year we pretty much doubled, and on average, we have done about 15 million in sales so far with my company. Now, one of the things that I've learned, one of the things that I've realized, one of the things that really stood out to me is when I started coaching and when I started helping other entrepreneurs with their business and teaching them the strategies and stuff, the thing that most people focus on and the thing that I think a lot of people get lost on is the fact that they need a website right out the gate. The first two things people always look for, the first two things people always, what I need, this is a website and it's a logo. But the truth of the matter is, and the fact of this is, the website isn't the first thing that you should worry about. Matter of fact, the website is far from the first thing that you should worry about, because having a website doesn't make you an entrepreneur. Having a website doesn't make you sales. Having a website does not make you feel like your business is launched. Having a website is a good place setter, right? How many times have you seen this, or how many of you have done this, is started a website, put the link in the bio, and it says website coming soon. You're not even collecting emails or anything worthwhile, but you just want to look like you have something moving forward. And that's what that is. That's what's going on. And so the common myth is the website equals business, and that's false. That's false. That's not real. The real first step, something to skip, something that is costing you time and money, something that you should be focusing on, is what you actually need first. And what you actually need first is a real offer, a real product that solves a problem. Not something that we're out here playing with, not something we're out here throwing darts, hoping to stick, hoping to land. What we need is something that we know is going to work. And in saying that, the thing that we need is a product that solves a problem. And I say this all the time. Always start a business with a product that solves a problem. Always start a business with a product that your audience, that your customer wants or needs, versus what we believe we should give them. When we start our brand, when we start our products, when we have all of this going, and you are creating a product because it looks good on social media, and don't get me wrong, having a product that looks good on Instagram or TikTok is very important towards sales, but having a product that only looks good is not putting money in your pocket long term. And that's what I want you to focus on. I want you to focus on a product, and I don't want you to focus on 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I want you to focus on one product that solves a problem. Be it an acne cream, an acne balm, an eczema scrub, dry skin serum, something for psoriasis, or if we're going hair care, I want you to focus on your alopecia oil, your hair growth oil, your dandruff and itch oil. I want you to focus on something that solves a problem. Now, the next step we're going to do is test it out. We are going to, and I personally like and prefer to use family members and friends. We're going to test this product out with people who need it. So we're going to give this out to 10 people that we know. And in giving it out, we want to get as much feedback. Matter of fact, say, listen, and I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to hold you guys. All truth aside right now, we're going to be honest. I had a cousin who had horrible ingrown hairs. Not only did he have a horrible ingrown hairs, but he always picked at them and left black marks and stuff all over his face. God rest his soul. Now, when we look at that, and when I considered that, and I had a product for ingrown hair, he was the perfect test person to use my product on. And so what I offered him, and I was like, yo, cuzzo, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you $150. All you have to do is use this product every day for 2 weeks. And I want you to take a picture every day. Send it to me. You don't even got to keep it on your phone. Take a picture, send it to me. Take a picture, send it to me. Use it, take a picture. And I said, if you film yourself as a video, at least 4 videos, I will also give you an extra $50. Now, keep in mind, this is only $200. But at the rate of his ingrown hairs and how bad it was, I knew this was a moneymaker. I knew this was a gold mine. And so for every day he sent me pictures, every day he sent me feedback, every day he sent me stuff. And in doing so, what I built up was a collection of testimonials. What I did was built myself a collection of proof that this product works. Now, I recommend that you do this with multiple people. I recommend that you reach out to multiple family and friends and different people who like, love, and even hate on you and get feedback. The reason why I throw the haters in here, because we have to make sure that we have good and bad feedback. A hater love to hate. I could be captain of the player haters ball, but the truth of the matter is a player hater loves to hate, and they're going to tell you the truth. They're going to tell you what's wrong. They're going to tell you what this, and what you don't want is just 100% good feedback. You don't want everybody to say, oh, it worked good. Oh, is this? Oh, the smell this. You want real feedback, real information, real content. Now, I want you to also get before and afters. I want you to also ask them to create a video or a picture. Listen, take a picture of you using it. Take a picture of you rubbing this hair growth oil in. Take a picture of you massaging your scalp. Take a picture of you oiling it up. This is what I want you to do, because listen, once we have our product and we're testing it out, it makes it simple for us to see what to do and how to do. Next, and of course, this should have been an obvious one, but we're going to do this in small batches. So you're not making a 5-gallon batch. You're not making a 1-gallon batch. We're making a snuff just to pass out some samples and to get content back. But while you're doing this, I also want you to film it, because we're going to use this as content, and that's very important. An aspect that I see works really well is showing our story, telling our story, all of this stuff. Because when we go out to sell, and I know we're in a digital age where everybody wants to sell online and everything else, but we are going to start by selling it manually. Let me rewind that, because someone heard this wrong. We're going to start by selling this manually, word of mouth. Word of mouth is the most powerful tool in the world. To this day, I still rely on word of mouth in my business. And let me ask you this, what is testimonials? If you had a before and after picture, would that be considered word of mouth, or what would that be called? Word of mouth is important. All right. Your first 1,000 sales comes from convos and not clicks. I'll put my life on that. When I started out and I would take my body butters, I would take them to a nursing home. I would sell body butters every payday Fridays to the nurses. And I would take 40, 50, 60 of them and sell out, because A, they're always washing their hands, so they're always dry. B, they get to open them up and smell. And C, people can't help but spend money because it burns a hole in their pocket. So if it's a payday Friday, what's that little extra money to the young man who's not dressed nice and smells good, rubbing a body butter on your hand? You're going to tell me yes. Word of mouth will sell. Because of word of mouth, those nurses caught on to what I was doing. And instead of me having to go up there, I have 5, 6, 7, 8 nursing homes who would call one of the nurses, advantageous, entrepreneur spirit, and say, David, let me buy 15 of your body butters. I want to sell them this week. And I would throw her a discount, because it's cheaper for me to go somewhere else and sell it than to go back to that one and take up time, when she could sell it for me and she could buy wholesale and I could turn around and sell it to her. So that's what I want you to do. I want you to start with coming up with a product that solves a problem. I want you to start testing with local people you know. I want you to get word of mouth out there and start building a buzz. Next, we're going to focus, right? And this is where a lot of people mess up. Focus equals faster growth. Let me say it again. Focus equals faster growth. If you focus on what you're doing, you're going to be able to grow faster. But if you have your eyes on all too many stuff, you're going to be overwhelmed. And this is one thing I always tell my students, is something I always say, is focus on what's in front of you, not the other stuff. If you don't have a product, you shouldn't focus on marketing. If you don't have branding, you shouldn't have a website. If you don't have what the stuff you need, you shouldn't be focused on nothing but what's in front of you. So what's in front of you, and that's going to be live feedback. I want you to focus on live feedback. I want you to reach out. I want you to message them. I want you to see, how is this product? Hey, how does it smell? Hey, just checking. Any problems with it? Did it separate? Did it fall apart? How are others reacting when you wear it? If you're wearing a body butter, what does the other one say? Does your man tell you smell like a snack when you got that? Listen, this is going to be a shame. And down the line, if my nieces or family hear about this, they already know I'm ignorant, so it's okay. Listen, I had my girl over. This is in our early days of dating. She's a young thing. She ain't as old as she is now. I call her my old Philly now. Anyways, if she sees this video, I'll be in trouble. But I had her over, and she come out the bathroom glistening like a honey baked ham. Thick, thick in the thighs. You know, those save lives. And she is glowing and glistening. I'm like, okay, she oiled up for me. So, you know, you already know what I'm thinking. I'm saved, but I ain't that. I'm working on it. But she comes out glistening. You know me, I'm lay my head on the backside and my head up there watching some Rick and Morty. And I'm smelling. I'm like, damn, you smell good, girl. You smell like a snack. So what kind of tropical whipped frosting is this? And she paused the TV and she looked at me with the dumbest look in her face and said, you don't recognize your own body butter smell? And I had to put my head down and I just had to laugh. I make it. I don't always recognize it when it's on somebody. What do I'll say all this story to say is you want feedback. You want to know how other people react to your fragrance. You want to see how they do. If you walk around and your man can't keep your hands off of you because all of a sudden you smell like vanilla sunrise on a tropical beach with the sun. Listen, if you smell good and you smell like a snack, you need to know that. If you have this body butter and everywhere you go, men is looking at you and trying to catch the wind as you walk by, you need to know that because that's a marketing ploy. If you have a hair growth oil and it's making people's hair grow like wildfire and all of a sudden everybody you know is part Indian, you got a product that makes money. So I want you to focus on that. I want you to get the testimonials. I want you to get feedback. I want you to get before and afters because confidence and proof is what drives sales. Someone in the back didn't hear that. Confidence and proof are what drives sales, and sales are what we're looking for, correct? Sales are what we need, right? Sales is the direction that we're going, correct? Yeah, that's right. That's right. Confidence and sales make you money. On top of that, the feedback, the testimonials, the information, all of that stuff you get is not just proof, right? And proof is just a pretty business card, if you want to be honest. A website with no proof is just a pretty business card. So if you don't have proof and you don't have those on your websites, you ain't making no money. If you don't have people who can connect with your product and see that it actually works and inspires them to buy it, you don't have nothing. And one of my students, and I can't even lie, I had to actually coach him through this process, and she had some of the best before and afters. And I said, what I want you to go ahead and do is I want you to start posting these before and afters. And I want you to post it like this in particular. And I want this to be your caption. And I want you to post this on these 3 Instagram pages. Now, the type of Instagram pages I always recommend, I call them shout out pages. And this is one of the reasons I was doing about $80,000 a month in sales with no Facebook ads or no ads like that. And what I was doing was going to these Instagram pages, shout out pages, and I would pay their price. Now, there is a page right now on Instagram with 1.3 million followers, and they all happen to be my target audience. And it's a highly active and engaged page, and I can go pay her $80 and she can repost one of my pictures. She will repost it, tag it in the stories, link in the bio, the whole 9, right? For $80 to 1.2 million followers. And what I would do is go to pages like that and let them post and let them show my content. And those before and afters would go gangbusters. And so I taught my student this and showed her exactly what to do. And she did $2,500 in sales in 2 days. Brand new business, brand out there, but because these before and afters were so amazing, because of transformation, the visual evidence. Listen, you can have all the sales in the world, right? You could be the best salesperson in the world, and you still can't compete with a before and after picture of somebody with bald, thinning hair with a full head of hair. You can't compete with somebody who has ingrown hairs all up and down to clear, beautiful skin. You can't compete with somebody who has hyperpigmentation and dark marks all on their face, but all of a sudden your product, the stuff that you're selling, that has cleared their skin and gave them the best skin of their life. You can't compete with that. And so when you look at your product and you consider your product and you do the things that are necessary and you post these visual reference, these visual ideas, these cues, these things that they need to see, you will make money. You can't outsell that. You can't outbeat that. People can get visual evidence of what they're looking for and what they need and how it's going to work on their skin. And you're selling them on the idea and the transformation. Wait. Nay, stay, I say it. You're selling them confidence to walk through the day. And that's what a testimonial does. That's what a before and after does. That's what all of that does. And I want you to think about it like this, even in the terms of building out your website, if you have before and afters and testimonials on your product page, do you understand how much more money or how much more sales you would get, how much more money you would bring in? That's what you need. That's what makes a difference. That's what carries you on. And simple ideas, simple steps, simple things like this is what makes you money. Now, onto the right order of operations, because there's a right and a wrong way to do it. There's a way that you should do it and a way you shouldn't do it. And that's going to be product clarity, knowing exactly what your product is, what it does, and all of that. Product clarity to solves a problem, to manual testing, to proof and testimonials, then packaging, branding, and website. Let me throw this back at you. When you start off with your brand, when you start off with your products, when you start off building, what I want you to do is focus on what am I going to sell. Now, I have what am I going to sell? What problem does the product that I'm going to sell solve? How do I present this product in a way where people actually need it? What pain am I solving? What hurt, what anguish, what idea or concept does it? And before you say, oh, David, that's wrong, think about this. How many people you know have acne? Let's just keep it simple. Acne. How many people are you know that are embarrassed by their acne? Embarrassed to walk in a room, embarrassed when you talk to them and you stare at a bump. You need to solve that problem. You need to give them back that confidence. By giving them back that confidence, you allow them to do it. Now, as soon as you know the problem that you're fixing or solving, and you know the product that you are making, it's time for manual testing. And manual testing is we are going to make a small batch of our product. We're just going to make sure that this product works. We're going to pass out samples. We're going to get feedback. And that's where we move on to proof and testimonials. We're going to pass out our products, get free samples out, and we're going to get feedback. We're going to get proof. We're going to get testimonials. And we're going to go with that for at least, very least 2 weeks. Why 2 weeks, David? 2 weeks is the time for cell turnover. So if you have a problem with your skin, you're not going to know if a product is really working or not for about 2 weeks. So 2 weeks is the time frame that we need to operate in, at least for our testimonial, our pass it out, our get feedback. But and I know some of you guys are very organized, and I have to just throw this caveat out here, because if you give me a product, let me hold my girl's product up. If you give me a product and then you give me a whole paperwork of information and questions and check marks and stuff to solve, you might as well take this on home, because now you made this more complicated than it should be. It sounds crazy, but it's true. So you want this process to be painless, not complicated, easy, simple for them to be able to follow and for them to be able to do. And the way we do that, how we do that, is we are just going to give them the product. We're going to ask, we're going to text them. We're going to say, yo, text me what you think. Hey, send me a picture. Hey, make a video. You just want sporadic, simple, easy, not no hard deadlines, not no hard stuff that you need to do. Make it simple. And that is how we take it to the next level. That's what we do. Now, our mantra, the things that I want you to keep saying, the things that I want you to realize, the things that I want you to know is you don't need traffic to get traction. You don't need traffic until you get traction. Say it again. You don't need traffic until you get traction. Why? If you don't have traction, traffic does not mean nothing, because you're not going to sell. And I want you to reframe the way you think about this. I want you to reframe what you think, because I know what you're thinking. If I do all of this, David, I'm going to be behind. David, if I do all of this, I'm going to be behind. I'm not going to be able to catch up. I'm not going to be on top of the game. I'm not going to be none of that. But the truth is, and the idea is, that you are not behind, right? You are not behind. You just been building in the wrong order. You just been building wrong. So while you do this, when you look at this, you move through all of this, that's what I want you to realize. That's what I want you to understand. And that's what I want you to focus on. And the way we're going to do this, our action plan, our no fluff game plan, the direction that we're going to do it is we're going to do a week's challenge. So if you're up for this, I want you to put a comment below, and I'm going to hold you accountable, because in 1 week after your comment, I'm going to swing back and I'm going to say, what did you do? And the week's challenge is you're going to pick one product. You're going to find 3 to 5 people struggling with that problem. You're going to offer them a free sample. Once you get that free sample to them, you're going to ask for a testimonial or honest feedback. Nothing hard, nothing complicated, none of that. We're going to use that to improve and start building social proof. What is social proof, David? Social proof is proof that your product works. Social proof is proof that other people use it. Social proof is proof that this is a product that everybody needs. So let's recap. Pick a product, find 3 to 5 people to test your product on, guinea pigs, lab rats, whatever you want to call them, family members and friends. Offer them a sample, nothing expensive, maybe a $10 sample. Get feedback, testimonials, and all of that stuff, and then use that to improve and start your business. This is the correct order. This is the right stuff. Then I want you to focus on packaging. Then I want you to focus on branding. Then I want you to focus on the website. But these are the steps that you need to do. Listen, you started this business to make an impact. You started this business to go to that next level, to create that legacy, to do something for your family. And the truth is, it's about the progress. And they say it's about the journey, right? The progress, the journey, the steps that you're taking. You're not missing a website. You're not missing money because you have a website at front. Your website isn't even doing nothing. Your website doesn't have a clear offer. It's not converting. It's not doing none of that. But if you can pick your product and show that this product works and show that this is a product that is needed and solves the problem, and this is a product that's going to change somebody's life, then you have sales, you have proof, you have evidence, you have what you need to make money. But now it's simply about starting up. It's simply about following these steps in order and not allowing yourself to get overwhelmed, not getting sidetracked by the shiny object syndrome of a website, of a logo, all of this stuff, when you don't even have a viable product to make money. Sometimes we got to hit the brakes. Sometimes we got to slow down. Sometimes we got to position and angle ourselves a little different in order to go to that next level. And that's what I want you to do. And if you need help with this, I want you to click the link below. Listen, I have a full program where I help and we do weekly group calls and I coaches you and teaches you how to do this, where we bring in guest speakers and different people to come show you exactly what to do. You don't have to be out here struggling. You don't have to do all of this. We've built the framework. We've done the work. All you have to do is fill in the blanks. All you got to do is say, listen, I want this to do that. I want this in this way, and we're going to follow the simple 90-day layout in order to have your business up and running. Can you do it in 30? By all means, I can. I can build a full brand in 2 weeks, but that's not for everybody. That's because I do this so many times. It's like baking bread. Once you bake bread for so long, you ain't even measuring cup. You're pinching this and throwing it. But doesn't mean you can't. Doesn't mean you can't get your business up and running. Doesn't mean you can't go to that next level. Doesn't mean you can't transcend who you are into who you want to be. But it starts with following a game plan. It starts with a strategy. It starts with a guide. It starts with a direction. It starts with the belief and the knowledge of knowing that you can do it. But if you're focused on the shiny things, if you're focused on the things that you don't need, if you're focused on the aspects and all the other stuff that is not needed for you to grow, not needed for you to build, not needed for you to go to that next level, what happens is you hold yourself back. You get overwhelmed. You get discouraged. You get lost. You don't know where to go or what to do in the process. And that's what I don't want for you. So follow this checklist, follow this guide, do the challenge. Let's find some products. Let's find some people who we can test it out. Let's get some feedback, some testimonials, some information, and we can use this information to drive sales. We can use this information to build our website. We can use this information to put it all together. Simple ideas, simple concepts, simple actionable steps is what builds businesses. Not looking like a business. Not pretending to have things in order. Not having a website with no conversions, no sales. Listen, I would say 70% of people who hit me up who have a business already done is not making the sales that they want. And 90% of the time, their website, their social media has no social proof. Their website, social media solves no problem. It doesn't even tell me what their product is for real. Let's hone in. Let's lock in on what we need. And let's start to develop and build our brands. Talk to you soon.